We're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to learn a lot in the process. Right now, Bitcoin over here trading at $40,000. Want to take a look with you. This is on TradingView. I don't post too often on TradingView, but when I do, it's pretty, I would say, let's take a look at it. December 14th, where was Bitcoin trading on December 14th? Bitcoin was trading right over here around $19,000. Let's take a look. You can see Bitcoin was coming out of this consolidation pattern. There's that trend line over here, waiting for that break of the trend line. There was the break, and then Bitcoin came in for that retest. And at that point, I said, look, Bitcoin's getting ready to break out to new all-time highs right now. Let's take a look at where it occurred shortly thereafter. Sure enough, we got it over there. What's happening right now? This is another one, by the way. Do you remember over here? This was put out over in June 20th of 2020. And if you take a look at price, that's when it still hadn't broken out technically to the bull market. It had not broke above this trend line connecting the previous all-time high. There it was connecting the December 2017 high, and then again in the July 2019 high, and then again we touched this in June 20. Price had not broken out yet of this trend line, and what that means is that technically the bull market had not started, even though we had been trading about 1 month after the halving, 30 days or so after the last halving event. That was in itself a very bullish fundamental factor for things going on chain on Bitcoin over here. But this technically we needed to break out to start that Bitcoin bull run technically, and there it was. We were trading on June 20th at $9,000. Also around that time, just a few weeks after Bitcoin did break out, starting the bull market over there, we had that breakout and then a retest and finally a resumption. You could see it clearly over there. It is over there. You could see the breakout, then the retest, and then we were right over here. We were trading at about $10,500. This was September 14th that I put out this tweet over here. Very important. I said, do you think we're ever going to trade below $10,000 again? And of course, we have not. We didn't close a CME gap down over there. I don't think that we ever will. Do I think that we're ever going to trade below $10,000? Obviously, over here in September, when I put that tweet out, that's what I was signaling to you, because we had broken out of that bull market. Technically, we were on chain. On chain, we were in a bull market, and now also here price was showing that bull market breakout, and it was very clear. And then I said 1,400. I think we're getting ready here to make the move to break through here, and a quick move into 12,000. I think that it's safe to say at some time in the next 2 months, we should be trading at $12,000. And sure enough, that's where we wound up going over there. Sure enough, we wound up then breaking out into the bull market. There we wound up breaking out and coming right into that $12,000 very quickly. It was from $12,000 on that we had that first pullback. That pullback was the breakout, the retest into this broken resistance from the bear market, now becoming support. And then we resumed off, flipped over there, breaking out the $12,000 high. It's at this point I put out one of my most important tweets during this whole 4-year cycle and said to you, listen, on November 6th, Bitcoin was trading over here. November 6th, Bitcoin was trading at $15,000. And I alerted everyone, because everyone at this point, after Bitcoin coming from 9,500 into 15,000, was looking for a pullback. And I put out a tweet and I told everyone, if you're watching and waiting for a 30% pullback on Bitcoin, at this time, at this level, at this time, meaning, right, after the breakout of the bull market, technically, how many days we were after the halving. If you watch past cycles, if you're looking at this time and at this level, not understanding what happened just even in the last cycle going back to 2017 when you saw Bitcoin make that new all-time high, it didn't stop after a 50% gain. It did not at all. If that's what you were watching, you were too soon, and check your calculations. Soon after, I put out, just a couple of days after, this was on the 6th, 1 week later, I put out this most important video in Bitcoin, my most important work to date in context of my full Bitcoin playlist. This is about 3 ways to trade Bitcoin during the bull. This was 3 ways to trade Bitcoin, the ultimate guide to profiting from Bitcoin in the bull market cycle, laying out 3 crucially important strategies that people should be following and looking to trade during the Bitcoin bull market. If you haven't seen yet, that is absolutely something that you're going to want to take a look at. And then at the same day, I talked about my price predictions for Ethereum and all altcoins. This was back in November. Here's my roadmap for exiting at the top of the altcoin cycle, because I knew that at 6 months after the Bitcoin halving of May, 6 months later in November, That's when we were looking at alt season starting. I had said that going back over a year ago. I was advocating that to people who are following my work on this channel, right on time over there. And then from there, I said Ethereum looks ready. This was 2 days earlier. Ethereum looks ready as it was breaking out over here at 471. Right now, we see Ethereum trading this morning at $1,715. Now, what happened right after that? After that 15,000, we did continue because it was the right time at that level to continue to hold, and we came into $19,000. Not only that, you could see over here as we came into that $19,000 level, we've been having 12 in a row 3-day up candles. So these candles right over here that you see are 3 days for each candle. And we had 12 of them in a row. And I was like, wait a second. Watch out. Price is near-term parabolic. We're into resistance. Here's the resistance I had. Now this resistance, you could see if I come back over here, they're all based off, let me get off the log, come back to a normal chart over here. They're all based off of this prime trend line I'd put on with all of you over here. And I continued, and this was all the way back when? When did I do this? Sometime around the summer in July. And I continued placing these trend lines at important resistances, including this one right over here. As price was coming into that resistance, 19,032, 19,332 is the number I gave that I said, look, I'm going to be exiting a little over here. That was strategy number, well, at that point, I said, I'm looking now for a possible 30% pullback. I know from past cycles that Bitcoin has multiple 30% pullbacks. You could see over here in the 2017 bull market phase, you could see that there were 7 30% pullbacks. This one over here, 39%. So that led me to believe that we should be expecting a pullback. It didn't happen like that. It didn't happen. We didn't get a 30% pullback. It was also at this time, by the way, that I denounced the lengthening cycle theory and diminishing returns, correcting myself on my $160,000 bull market price prediction, saying that I was wrong, presenting why I'm now getting on the right side of the trade, with my only desire to continue to be on the right side of the trade and as early as possible. That was in November of 2022. Now, here's what happened as we came into that $19,000 resistance over here. When I talked about I'm looking to take a little bit of profit, I also said, look, I'm targeting 14,000, 13,950. That would be around the 30% pullback into this broken resistance. Should now be support and strong horizontal support at 1380. That never happened. I said above 19,200, I will be fully positioned. And as you all know more, as Bitcoin came into that $19,000 resistance, I said, everyone is watching her now. Everyone is watching her. My eyes, though, are on $40,500, the next resistance area that I would be targeting. And sure enough, that's what unfolded as Bitcoin exploded up to $40,000. Look what happened as we only pulled back 16.5%. We pulled back that 16.5%, then regained that 19,200, where I said you have to be fully positioned above there. And from there, obviously, we broke out. The dip, this takes us to where we are right now. The current price, let me come back to the 8-hour time frame with you all right now. We were over here. What day was this tweet put out? This tweet was put out on January the 21st. Price was trading on January the 21st, down over here at $30,000. It dipped below $30,000 to $29,000. Actually, the low of this pullback so far. At that very moment, I tweeted out to everyone and I said, listen, if you missed Bitcoin under 20,000, when I told you to be fully positioned, or not that I told you, when I told you all that I was fully positioned, at no time whatsoever am I here to give you investment advice. If you don't understand what you are investing in and why, you're going to lose money. There's no question about that. What I'm here to do is present my own analysis. By sharing this with you, it helps me really, you see the fruits of it in this video here today. 19,200, you need to be fully positioned. If you didn't do that and you missed Bitcoin under 20,000, this is your opportunity to buy it under $30,000 right over here, right now, watching and targeting this trend line over here, needing to break above it to start this next up move, which brings us into $40,000 right now. We are close to taking out the all-time high on Bitcoin and then entering into price discovery, at which point I will be waiting and I will update you somewhere in the $70,000 area, which I think will happen within the next 2 months. I think $70,000. And at that point, we'll look at what's happening there and where we take it from there. Now, is it possible at this point in time we could see a further pullback, that this might not be the low at $20,000? And maybe, just maybe, we would come in somewhere towards $26,000, a 38% pullback. We saw a 39% pullback in the last bull market phase, 2017. Do I think that's going to happen? Well, obviously today, there's a probability of that happening, or less and less. After this breakout over here, we came back down. It was a false breakout. We didn't cover over here. We didn't retest and resume off there successfully. However, I added in this trend line down over here after seeing how clear it was. We came down this far. We came down this far, and this is held as support. And why that was happening, you could see this other trend line was being resistance until it broke. We then took out the last local swing high. We came into it by a couple of dollars and then backed off, and have since regained it. This is very bullish price action over here. It looks like a matter of time. I was giving it could be anywhere. The past pullbacks have lasted 30 to 60 days. This one over here is lasting actually right about 30 days right now. Is it ready to resume out? Things are looking very, very strong over here. It's amazing how accurate, how honed in, how precise, with the precision that I've navigated with you this Bitcoin bull market and continue to do so. Listen, you have to listen to all opinions, but at the end of the day, you really have to hone in and focus on what's giving the strongest signal. Even though I am the trade for me, the most important trade, the only trade that matters for me is Bitcoin. I've been vocal for several months that Ethereum's going to outperform Bitcoin, and that altcoins will outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin during alt season. Talking about the capitulation, where that happens, how it happens, how I am looking to get out during the peak of this 4-year cycle. Why I do not believe that we're seeing anything like a super cycle or Bitcoinization just yet, and the probability of that happening at this particular time is maybe about 5 to 7%. That's pretty generous, I think. That's what I give it. And then we have this every day, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, a half hour before the equity markets open up. We take a look at the markets together, live streaming. It has been phenomenal. Yes. It has been going on now for well over a year, and it's the most special place that I know of on the internet. Let's take a look at what happens over there, how important this is. Gold has broken over here, the 1914 gold line over here, right? This sets up, in my mind, a possibility. Now look to go long and strong. Are we out of the woods yet? Is this an easy trade? Sean will look at that in a second. Bullish. Bitcoin has been looking bullish for quite a while. This is, the breakout of the bull market. This is what I call the technical breakout of the bull market. We then had breakout, retest. Here was dicey. I had a blue box. Said it could go either way, right? And I kept that blue box for a couple of weeks. Everyone was getting so mad. And then since then, we've actually resumed past that last swing high. I mean, that's breakout, retest, resumption. We just cleared the Heath line. Today, we've cleared the Heath area. This thing right now, by the way, let's talk about Bitcoin before we get into gold and silver. Bitcoin right now, what am I targeting? Right? I have a couple of things that I'm targeting. I'm going to show it to you right now. Number one. All right, this is going to be good. This is going to be my favorite portion of the session. It will be yours if you're watching it right now. Trust me on this one. If you haven't seen this video over here, 3 ways to trade Bitcoin, the ultimate guide to profit from Bitcoin's bull market phase, do watch it. I'm going to add something that wasn't in that video right now. I've been watching your channel for 2 months. You really convinced me to buy Bitcoin. When is the right time to buy? Should I buy on the red day or wait for a 30% pullback? We'll talk about that right now as well. Just rewind and really quick. I cannot predict the future, right? At all. And thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I cannot predict the future at all. When we were here, I didn't know if we were going to break out or down. But I did say that the risk was to the upside, meaning that it looks like, people are afraid to buy Bitcoin, right? This was all the way down here is when I called the next bull move over here when we broke that trend line. I know everyone remembers we broke it up, and then as we came over to here, this is where I signaled that swing buy targeting right over here, right, to exit 40% and hold the other 60%, you know? So now we're over here and people are like, oh, I was waiting for Bitcoin to go lower. What do I do now? All right, we'll talk about that first before I get into the part that I really want you to see, because it's really a part that I'm interested in, that I was actually looking at myself this morning. It goes on to this video over here as an addendum. So right now, obviously, we just broke through this important resistance over there, right? And so you could either be waiting, not that you'll get it necessarily, but there's a good possibility that we come back down and test that. And any move now into this area over here, it's right around 14,200. You know, if that area holds and you resume off of it, that's your next area. You don't buy now, you're too late. Not that this won't go higher, but you're too late. So you don't buy now. You could always be waiting for the first 30% pullback, and that's the safest entry. But I have to tell you, the reason I was waiting for 14,000 to get that video out, to get this video out to you, was simply because I'm not looking for the first 30% pullback personally, expected at any time. But in my head, it used to be 16,000. Now that's moving up, you know, towards closer to 18,000. So I had plenty of time to get this video out for you. I'm not expecting the pullback yet. I'll tell you what I am expecting in 1 second. First, let me show you this over here. This over here is the next bit of resistance that we're looking at. Let me draw it in for you. All right. Let me make that a little bit darker. That's connecting these lines over here, again over here. And that's the only thing I have up in this area, because there's nothing over here to my left. There's nothing at all over there. So that's only a little bit of area I have. Now, is it a strong resistance? No, it's not. Do we get stronger up here? We get a lot stronger up here. Let me show you what that looks like. Let me make that a little bit darker for you. And now let me look over to the left over there, and you can see, okay, that's a little bit stronger of resistance, right? So targeting over there, that's around 17,000, right? So that's what's in front of us right now. We're not going to go any further than that about looking to where we have some overhead resistance and what we should be looking at. But I do want to show you one other thing, and that is coming back over to here. The last time we were in a similar situation, past results here are not indicative of future performance. But with Bitcoin, things are there are distinguishable patterns that have led me to be able to ahead of time let you know what I believe is going to be happening. And we got a long way to go, but it's undeniable that you got to pay attention. That's all I'm going to say. So this line over here, by the way, okay, this line over here, I just want you to follow me over here. This line over there, right? That is the equivalent of this line over here, of the Heath line, actually. That's the equivalent of the Heath line. It was the last swing high before the halving. Okay? Pay attention. This is what I worked out. This is what I have worked out myself. Now, the all-time high is this line over here. Okay? From here to here is about a 50%, right, return. Let me make sure that's correct. 45. Let's call it 45. Okay? Pay attention. Now come back over here. Come back over here. Now, again, this is the Heath line we're looking at right over here. That's the last swing high before the halving. That's the all-time high over there. If I go ahead and do another 45%, right? It's taking us close, 42%. That's taking me right towards the all-time high again. Okay? Just pay attention. That's kind of the area, 18,000 I set goals that I want to make. This area between 18,000 and 2,000 is what I am targeting. Now, to make sure that I look correct, I have it in 2021. We make the all-time high. If it happens in December, that's fine, right? Over here, this is when we had the first 30% pullback after there. Now, I'm not saying, like I'm saying in my mind right now, as we approach 17, 18,000, that's when I'm first looking for that first 30% pullback, okay? It could happen at any time. It could happen before then. It could happen right now, and it could happen before we made this new swing high. This is what I have going on in my mind. Now, is it possible that we don't make a 30% pullback, that we take out the all-time high and we scream up towards 30,000 before having that 30% pullback back towards 20,000, right? Back towards that to test that all-time high to make sure, yes, all that's possible. That's what I'm looking at. So if you're thinking about whether or not you need to buy Bitcoin and you haven't yet, bought Bitcoin, when's the next possible time to buy Bitcoin? Right now, that's over here. After we just broke through that resistance to make sure that becomes support. Don't buy into the FOMO. But at this point in the stage, right? And I looked at also on my Twitter account the other day. I was showing you the last time. Every time we take out the last monthly all-time close, between that and the new all-time high is on average just over 30 days. So this area that we're in right now, and we all know it ahead of time. I'm not saying it now to you. This has been said for a long time. There's not much over here in the way. From here to here could happen quickly. Everyone's with me? And if you're not, I hope you are. So Twitter's real fun, interacting with everyone from Conquering the Markets. We live stream every day, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. There's a link below in the description of this video that gives a link to a Telegram broadcast channel. Get alerted when I go live each and every week. Each show is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Taking a look over here, Jordan, I got my whole family listening to you live at 9 o'clock a.m. And for those who haven't seen Jordan's videos, you are missing out. Most underrated trader in my eyes. And I've seen it everywhere, and I see it everywhere, and it's beautiful to see everyone's TA, everyone's trading, everyone's profit, everyone, to see the quality of everyone's chart work now. I love people pointing out multi-year trend lines to myself, helping me understand where the break's coming. It's absolutely beautiful to work together like this. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. I enjoy it all so much. More importantly, do check out, if you haven't seen it, Bitcoin log charts with take profit trend lines in the exit plan series over here. Not only on the way up have I been doing my best to make sure I keep myself and all of you on the right side of the trade, on the right side of the market, and calling it with precision, with absolute precision, but I'm going to do my best to get out, because there is a 4-year cycle. It is caused by the halving event every 4 years that causes a supply shock. It is a 4-year cycle. It is not a super cycle. There is a bull phase. There is a bear phase. There's a time to accumulate getting in before it all happens again. And that's about 15 months to the next halving. Over here right now, my eyes are right over here. Eyes over here following what is going on into late September, possibly even further all the way into December. I'm going to do my best to get out of here at the top of this cycle peak. I'll be using, of course, this is Will's trend lines. On this video over here, on the log charts video, there are 4 different versions. You could actually download them each. Patrick, Will zoomed in. A comparison of the angles used, my chart and Adam's chart. A must watch video. But it's not only this video, it's every single video in this Bitcoin playlist. This is the gold mine right over here. Watch these videos, understand the 4-year cycle, understand it better than anyone you walk into a room with, and have the confidence to go ahead and ride the bull of all bulls, the Bitcoin bull market, as we continue in its bull market phase right here in 2021, accumulating somewhere around over here, somewhere between the end of September, possibly even further. We're going to track it, we're going to find it, we're going to exit, and then we're going to accumulate 15 months to the next halving, the cycle low for each of the cycles, about 15 months to the next halving, and then we're going to do it again, because that's how you create generational wealth. What are we looking at in the next bull market phase? What type of price projections are we going to be looking at in 2025? Are we looking at a $500,000 Bitcoin? Are we looking at Bitcoin overtaking the market cap of gold and a $500,000 plus Bitcoin? This playlist and the work that I share on Bitcoin is absolutely essential, I do believe, for every investor, because there's no other investor that I've seen across the internet who has been more accurate when it comes to Bitcoin and its price movements throughout the 4-year cycle. It's our technical analysis that gives us this edge. I am honored to share it with you and to work with you. Thanks, everyone. If you haven't already and you did enjoy this video, please share it. please smash that like button. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. It's truly a pleasure and an honor to be with you all. I'll talk to you later.